Imagine a filthy, ragged boy, no older than 12, staring up at a billionaire in a tailored suit, uttering words that stop time. "Sir, I can make your daughter walk again." In that frozen moment, a world of desperation, hope, and impossible promises collide. What secret could a street beggar possibly hold to shatter a tycoon's reality? Dive into this gripping tale of miracles, betrayal, and shocking twists that will leave you questioning everything. Subscribe now to unlock more heart-pounding stories that grip your soul and never let go. Don't miss a single word of this unforgettable journey. The rain-slicked streets of Manhattan glistened under the sodium glow of streetlights, a city alive with ambition yet indifferent to the broken. Charles Wentworth, a name synonymous with wealth and power, strode through the evening drizzle, his polished loafers clicking against the pavement. At 52, he was a titan of industry, his real estate empire sprawling across continents, his name etched on skyscrapers that pierced the New York skyline. But beneath the crisp lines of his Savile Row suit, his heart was a fractured thing, weighed down by a grief no fortune could mend. His daughter, Lily, 17 and radiant as a summer dawn, had been confined to a wheelchair for 3 years, the victim of a freak accident that shattered her spine and his world. The best doctors, the most cutting-edge treatments, experimental therapies from Zurich to Singapore, all had failed. Hope had become a cruel ghost, haunting him with every glance at Lily's empty ballet slippers. Charles barely noticed the beggar boy at first, just another shadow huddled against the wall of St. Patrick's Cathedral, a cardboard sign scrawled with, "Please help," propped beside him. The boy's eyes, though, were impossible to ignore, sharp, green as jade, cutting through the urban haze like a beacon. Charles, lost in thought about a board meeting, nearly passed him when the boy's voice, clear and steady, sliced through the rain. "Sir, I can make your daughter walk again." Charles froze, his breath catching in his throat. He turned, his steely gaze locking onto the boy, who couldn't have been older than 12. Filthy, his clothes a patchwork of rags, yet his expression held an unnerving certainty. "What did you say?" Charles demanded, his voice low, dangerous. The boy didn't flinch. "Your daughter, Lily. I can help her walk. I know how." Charles's mind reeled. How did this urchin know her name? His first instinct was rage, some cruel scam, a tabloid stunt, someone exploiting his pain. Yet something in the boy's unflinching stare held him. "Speak," Charles growled, stepping closer. The boy, who introduced himself as Eli, claimed he'd seen Lily's story on a discarded newspaper, her face splashed across a feature about Charles's latest charity gala. But his solution wasn't medicine or surgery. "It's a gift," Eli said softly, "something I was born with. I've done it before." Charles scoffed, but the boy's next words chilled him. "In Chicago, 2 years ago, a girl named Sarah Cole. Paralyzed from a car accident. She walks now. Ask her." Charles's skepticism warred with a flicker of hope. Sarah Cole. He'd have his people look into it. Against his better judgment, Charles brought Eli to his penthouse, a glass palace overlooking Central Park. His wife, Margaret, was apoplectic, her eyes flashing with distrust as she surveyed the boy's grimy appearance. "You're entertaining a con artist," she hissed. But Charles, haunted by Lily's fading smile, overruled her. Lily, wheeled into the room, regarded Eli with quiet curiosity, her pale hands folded in her lap. Eli knelt before her, his small hands hovering over her legs, his eyes closed. A strange warmth seemed to fill the room, a hum Charles couldn't explain. Minutes passed, then Eli slumped, exhausted. "It's started," he whispered. "It'll take time, but she'll walk." Charles demanded proof, but Eli only smiled faintly. "Wait 3 days." The next morning, Charles's investigators confirmed it. Sarah Cole, now 20, was walking, living a normal life in Chicago. Her doctors were baffled, calling it a spontaneous recovery. Charles's hope surged, but so did his suspicion. Who was this boy? Why was he on the streets? Eli's story was vague. He'd been orphaned, raised in foster homes, always running from those who wanted to exploit his gift. Charles hired a private investigator to dig deeper, but the trail was cold. No records of an Eli matching his description existed. Meanwhile, Lily reported tingling in her toes, a sensation absent for years. Margaret, still skeptical, softened slightly, her maternal desperation outweighing her doubts. By the second day, the media caught wind of the story. A blurry photo of Eli entering Wentworth's building went viral, headlines screaming about a miracle boy. Charles shielded Eli from the frenzy, moving him to a guest suite, but the boy seemed unbothered, spending hours with Lily, telling her stories of places he'd never been, ancient forests, starlit deserts, as if drawing from memories not his own. Lily laughed for the first time in months, her eyes bright. Charles watched, torn between awe and unease. The investigator called with a bombshell. Eli's DNA, lifted from a glass, matched no known records but showed anomalies, genetic markers suggesting he wasn't entirely normal. Charles dismissed it as error, but the seed of doubt grew. On the third day, Lily stood. Shaky, supported by Eli's small hands, but she stood. Margaret wept, Charles's knees buckled, and the room spun with impossible joy. Eli, pale and trembling, collapsed after, his breath shallow. "It's done," he murmured. Charles, overcome, offered him everything: money, a home, a future. But Eli refused. "I don't need it," he said, his green eyes distant. "Others need me more." That night, Eli vanished from the penthouse, leaving no trace. Charles's security team was baffled. Cameras showed nothing, as if he'd dissolved into the air. Weeks later, Lily was walking unaided, her recovery deemed a medical miracle. But Charles couldn't let go. He poured millions into finding Eli, chasing rumors of a boy healing the hopeless in slums from Mumbai to Rio. Each lead ended in whispers. Eli appeared, healed, and vanished. Then came the twist. A whistleblower from a defunct biotech firm contacted Charles. Decades ago, the firm had experimented with gene editing to create enhanced humans with abilities beyond explanation. Most subjects died, but one, a boy, escaped. His codename, Elijah. Charles's blood ran cold. Was Eli a product of science, a living miracle, or something else entirely? The whistleblower's final warning haunted him: if he's real, he's not here to save you. He's here to change everything. Charles never found Eli again, but the boy's words echoed: "Others need me more." Lily danced at her 18th birthday, her laughter filling the penthouse. Yet Charles, staring at the city below, felt a shiver. Somewhere, Eli was out there, a ghost with the power to rewrite destinies. And Charles knew, deep down, their paths would cross again, when the world was ready for the truth Eli carried.